Hello YouTubers, this is Remington Steel here with, as promised, another video because I got more than 10 likes on my last Remington Steel ramble about my Warhammer antics. So I haven't got anything planned for this, but just to say, I haven't had the day off because I'm a lazy part-timer now. I managed to, I bought some of those container boxes and thought, right, I'm going to put each of my armies into its own separate container box. And first off, it created a ginormous mess throughout my whole flat, and second off, it really helped me organise what needs doing to complete each army. And I was really pleased to note that each army is probably 75–80% painted. And what a little trick that I've been doing is, if I've got a horde or 20 or more figs from one unit, what I've started to do is, to get over the monotony of painting, I'll do the front two ranks really nice, and then I'll base coat the back two ranks, just to keep myself, just to keep it going, because I got into the nasty habit. I'm sure most of you have the same problem, where you just, your eyes are bigger than your, what's the phrase? Your eyes are bigger than your pocket, or the eyes are bigger than your stomach. But in terms of purchasing, I keep buying all these models and spending ages, clipping them and gluing them and putting them into poses, faster than I can paint them. And so I got into the other nasty habit of putting out all my figures in a particular army that I'm painting. And what that does, I don't know if you've experienced this yourself, you just look at all these figures and you think, oh my god, I've just, if each figure takes me an evening to paint, that is the rest of my year. And I want to have a life. I've got a life, so I can't spend all this time doing that. So I watched a YouTube video a couple of years ago. It was from Blue Table Painting, and the guy that the crazy guy on there, Sean, he actually said something that made sense, and it wasn't one of his. It wasn't one of his army lists. Don't ever listen to any of his army list advice or his tactical advice, because it's shocking. But you're gonna look for him now, aren't you? But anyway, just to carry on that note, when the new Vampire Counts book came out a couple of years ago, Sean's tactical advice was to assemble an army full of zombies. Just like hundreds of zombies, and his enthusiasm got the better of him. And having seen a lot of battle reports and played with Vampire Counts since, I'm sure you'll agree that a whole army of zombies will not defeat anything. You could just put one of Malorian's troll hordes against a whole army of zombies, and they still wouldn't win. But one thing he did say that made sense was that it's a really bad idea to put out all your figures, because it becomes a very daunting task to paint them, and it's best to just put out. This is my new thing anyway. I'm not telling you what the best thing is. I don't know, but what I'm going to try now is just put out the unit that I'm working on, and just complete that unit. You know what I mean? One thing at a time. And don't try and get distracted by an elf there and a chaos marauder there and a troll over there, and because although painting wise it's a lot more enjoyable, it's not so much fun when it comes to looking at an army that it doesn't look very good, and you don't really want to put that on the table. So I was really encouraged by all your comments. Thanks so much with your comments on my last video, and your likes and thumbs up, and also for my number 45 Warhammer Fantasy Battle chat, where I displayed my Dark Elves, and it was really encouraging because you know, having had a concept for the army about a year ago, and just having some of the old witch elves and a pack of corsairs, it's really nice just to see how much it's developed, and yeah, and they're looking really good. So on my windowsill behind me, this is, you know, part of my new thing. All my figures are packed away now in these container boxes, and all I've got here are the wood elf woodcutters there that I want to finish painting, or Wildwood Rangers, sorry. I've got my Sisters of the Thorn there, which one of them's completed. I've got 3 stags painted, and the rest of them are just base coated. And I've got a unit of blackguard here. Let me just, okay, hopefully they won't fall down. Yeah, this is my blackguard unit. So as you can see, like, the front rank is looking really nice. You might notice this figure right here. This is taken from the Dark Elf Scourge Runner Chariot, and you get 4 guys in that. You get 2 for the Scourge Runner and 2 for the Cold One Chariot. And this Cold One Chariot guy has identical, well, almost identical armor to the Blackguard. And so what I've done, I've stuck him on the front row. It looks just like a Blackguard, if you see what I mean. And if I managed to get another one, I could have him going on the other end. And if I got the angle quite right, it would be a nice little sort of 45-degree arc of visibility. Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, I'm going to work on finishing those, because the back ones are not looking so good at all. And then I've got Shadowblade Assassin. One thing about the Assassin models, you know, and I suppose it's the same for the Ratmen as well. I mean, the Skaven. You know, you can spend all this time making this Assassin figure really nice, and then you imagine he pops out of the unit, and you place him on the table for like 1 round, and then you know, what if he gets killed? It's just like he's been on the table. You haven't really done a lot with him. But yeah, don't know if anyone even uses assassins now. So that's that. Now my concept idea for the Corsairs is to make them into a horde, because I'm not painting more than 20. Forget that. What I'm doing, I could do this for the Witch Elves as well. I've bought some Empire Flagellants. Flagellants sounds like flatulence. Empire Flatulence. And these guys, if you you can glue them in such a way that they could look like slaves. And one of the Dark Elf models, well, the Witch Elves especially, you can put them, or Sisters of Battle, you can have them with whips. All right, so and also the Beast Mistress from the Charybdis Hydra set, you can have her, and she could be like whipping these human slaves. You know, that's the one with the medieval. I don't know what you call those, stocks. Yeah, medieval stocks around them. So I'm gonna sort of rank up these, and these can be the unit fillers for either Witch Elves or the Corsairs. You know, like 7 or 8 of these poor slaves. So yeah, that's, hope you like that idea. And the second thing is, this is I'm sorry it's taken 8.5 minutes to get to this point, but as a sort of a thank you to Mr. Malorian, I've got a little gift for you, my friend. Just a sort of a congratulations. Well, 2 things really. One is congratulations on your new job, and you won't have to travel 5 hours just to get home to your family at the weekend, and then 5 hours driving back to work. I mean, the concept of that living in England is just unreal, because you can in 5 or 6 hours you can travel from the south coast of England all the way up to Scotland. You know, if you had a clear run, you could probably get right to the tip of England, tip of Scotland from the bottom of England in 6 hours. So I mean, if someone has to travel to work for like 1 hour, that's sort of considered, you know, quite a long time. I know some commuters in London do that every morning, but 6 hours, that's just crazy, man. So congratulations. And I just don't want to say it with words. I have a gift for you, Malorian. I've got loads of odds and sods miniatures, and I've also sort of toyed with the idea of getting orcs and goblins at one point. So being so far away from a point where I'll ever have an orc and goblin army, I've actually just painted 2 miniatures, and I want to send them to you as a gift. Now you've got the choice of one or the other. I've got an Avatars of War goblin big boss painted just for you. If I just put it against the white background like that, maybe you can see it a bit better. So that's your option number 1. All right. Option number 2 is a goblin shaman, just there. So yeah, it's missing a cloak. Yeah, but it still looks kind of cool. You'd never know. So yeah, so Mr. Malorian, get back to me via a message on here, or maybe your own YouTube vid, and let me know which one you would like, because I'm going to send it to you all the way from England across the ocean to you, my friend. And that's a congratulations present, but it's also a big thank you for all the videos you put out and getting 5,000 subscribers to your channel, and just the consistency of it. I mean, it's one thing I've always lacked in my life is consistency. I mean, that's what you get for being a Gemini like me. You know, you're doing loads of things at once. You've got lots of projects on the go, and the thing in my life that's most consistent is my music. And even in my music, I'm in 4 or 5 different bands and always doing bits and working on that one a little bit and that one a little bit. And you know, it's taken me a long time in the game. I mean, I turned 40 years old 2 days ago, and finding consistency and has meant it's taken me probably about 20 years to get to the point where the band I'm in has been signed by a wealthy record label, and we've had our first proper release, and you can get my CDs in the shops, and we're going to be doing tours and stuff. So but the thing about Malorian is the consistency and the output, the sheer output of his videos. It's been really so engaging in the hobby, and so yeah, that's just a thank you. So I hope you'll choose one of those and you'll let me send it on to you. So yeah, so I guess that's all for now. Oh, I was talking about the boxes, wasn't I? Yeah, all these boxes of miniatures. So I've got one box just of my ogre army. I've got like 2 Mornfang. I've got an ogre. I've got not a stone horn. It's the other one. It's the one with the 2 hunters on it. Can't remember. I've got a hunter with 2 saber tusks. I've got 6 ogre bulls. I've got 5 or 6 man-eaters. They're looking great because they're all converted. And I've got about 6 or 8 iron guts. So I've got a bit of everything in that army. I'm looking forward to playing it. So there's my ogres. I've got a load of dwarves. I've put videos up about the dwarves. And what else have I got? I've got my dark elves. I've got my wood elves, which no one's really seen yet. So I'm gonna put a little video showing off their miniatures soon. And it just occurred to me, opening up the wood elf box and putting all the odds and sods figures in it, that I've got a 25-man unit of Eternal Guard, the old models, which are pretty good. And I painted I've painted about 5 or 10 of them really nicely, and the rest of them I just thought, forget this, give up. Because the thing about that old school Games Workshop concept when they were designing miniatures was that each figure was loaded to the hilt with equipment. So another example is Scarlock's Wood Elf Archers from a box set from 1988. Each archer has got like pouches on him. He's got a bow, he's got a quiver, he's got arrows, he's got a sword, he's got a dagger, he's got a belt, all these things. And it's nice to see that the new miniatures that are coming out are much more simple. You know, a Glade Guard has just got a bow. That's all he's got, because that's all he does. He fires his bow, and they're pretty rubbish when it comes to close combat because they're archers. And so what it's meant is a lot of my old armies are made up of these old figures. That the painting them is a real is a real drag when you're doing whole units. So yeah, wood elves, dark elves, ogres, dwarves, and of course my beastmen. And they're looking good. I won on eBay 30 gores, unpainted gores. I think they've just been base coated with brown. And I got them for really cheap actually. So that's sort of completed my beastmen army now. I've got 2 units of 25-30 gores. I've got a 30-man Bestigor unit. I've got a giant. I've got a Tuskor chariot. I've got 3 Minotaurs, although that's probably too small a unit. So what I do is choose one of them to make a Doom Ball. I've got my favourite unit out of all of them is the 25-man unit of Ungors. I just think the miniatures for the Ungors are just wonderful. Half of them are archers, half of them are spearmen. And what I do, I put an old school Minotaur in the middle as a unit filler, and it works out really nice. I've got a very old Games Workshop miniature called a Jabberwocky. And they've not really re-released that, but I got that on eBay for real cheap. It was missing the wings, but I've turned that into a Chaos Spawn for the Beastmen. And I've got like six Harpies. And of course, I've just based today the Jabberslife, and that is looking wonderful. Really nice figure to paint as well. So that's the Beastmen, and also a small box of Halflings. And this is the point where most of you YouTubers, I think, are probably going to turn off the channel because it's not like an official army. But yeah, the Halflings are looking great. The problem is that it's just that they're like Night Goblins in that you just need a huge model count to actually make them count. But there's some real nice characterful figures in that one, and I go through phases of getting kind of obsessed with each army. So what is that again? So I've got ogres, dwarves, dark elves, wood elves, ogres, dark elves, wood elves, dwarves, beastmen, and vampire counts. Shit, I've got that many, 6. The vampire counts are almost done as well. I've got tons of skeletons. I've got loads of zombies. I've got 3 Vargeists. I've not gone for the Terrorgeist yet. I might do that in the future. But I've got some ghouls, and I got like the mausoleum off the Garden of Moor. So I want to paint that up and use that as a unit filler. And yeah, and I've got 3 converted ogres that are made into the crypt horrors, and they're my favourite ones. They look great. So yeah, that's enough ramblings for me, and I hope you have a great week. I've got gigs coming up in the next few days down in Bristol, so yeah, a shout out to anyone that fancies a game of Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I've had a really nice message from the Gonk, who says he lives only up to an hour away from me and he wants a game. And I briefly spoke to Nick from Long Island Wargaming on the Google Hangouts, and I just randomly called him, and he was at work and he answered, and we had a really nice 2-minute conversation. And it's funny because he was like, he kept looking over, to see if his boss was checking him out, and it was all right. We got to set our pieces. I'm going to move flat to a larger place where I've got a spare room, which I'm hoping could transform into a mini wargaming room. Where if I get I've got a camera stand, I could use that, plug it into my laptop, and hopefully do Skype battles. So if not, I was thinking of angling my laptop downwards to view the table. And maybe do it that way, and then as we do the battle, I'll take loads of pictures and then do a battle report after, because I don't think no one wants to see an hour and a half of me making mistakes and possibly a bad sort of internet signal and stuff. So anyway, that's another ramble over, and yeah, peace out, brothers and sisters, if you're watching, and God bless. Bye bye.